Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, Nev from Nev's Tech Best coming to you live from the Batcave. Today I want to talk about the Avengers movie, Infinity War. Very good stuff, first off. Oh my god, let me say, this is one of those ones you can't pin to the comic because the universe is completely different. This seems to take a little bit of the story from the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, not the Infinity War. The Infinity War was totally different. So there was like Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Crusade, and I think there was one else, and it's really hard to wrap your head around all of these things. And there's a great comics explained that goes into each and every one of these. But basically, the story is basically from Infinity Gauntlet. I'm not going to give any spoilers here, so don't worry. So on Infinity Gauntlet, what was going on was Thanos, who's in love with Mistress Death herself, who was in love with Deadpool at the time. She asked Thanos to eliminate half of life on all creation. She wants half the life gone so that they would be within her domain. Actually, this might be a spoiler if you want to read the comic, but I guarantee you if you read the comic, it's a lot to get in. It's a lot to get in because they try to get Space Jesus in here, Adam Warlock. Anyways, because of that, in the comic, Thanos eliminates half of all life everywhere, and within the movie, that's the thing. I can say that because it's in the trailers. Thanos is trying to eliminate half the life within all the universe. Within the comic, he already has the gems right on his gauntlet. He's already got those. That's how it starts out. He's not looking for it. He's got it. Within the movie, he needs to go around and find each individual one. And if you've been watching the movies closely enough, you know exactly where all of those things are. There definitely is a whole lot different within the comic to the movie. So again, you can't compare them. It doesn't work that way. Things are just totally different. But I gotta say, I like the movie more than I like the comic. The comic again, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. And if you wanted every last detail, you were going to have to get one issue of X-Men, one issue of Avengers, one issue of Silver Surfer, and bring all of these things together. There definitely were not as many characters as there was in the comic, but all the characters that were in there were very well represented. I was actually surprised to see there was one or two heroes who were not in there. It was entertaining the whole way through, all killer, no filler type stuff, all great stuff. I was thoroughly entertained, and there was no point that me or my buddy, and we arguably between the two of us, we got a case of ADD, and we did not have a problem losing focus. The entire movie was like, I think it was like 2.5 hours, something like that. I think it was 2.5 hours, and it was just great from beginning to the end. I don't think I had any complaints at all. Okay, I had some super minor complaints that it wasn't like the comic in this way or that way. And there is a bumper. There is a bumper. Marvel always has bumpers, right? So you want to stay till after the credits. I definitely didn't predict what was going to happen here. It was freaking awesome. I think this might be the first Marvel Cinematic movie that I'm going to have to actually buy. Of course, us hackers, we like to download everything, but every now and then something comes up that's so good that we have to throw our money in, we have to support it. And this crossover was everything that I wanted it to be. Like Justice League was good. Justice League was good. But in order to top this, Justice League is going to have to pull a Crisis on Infinite Earths. And what that is, for the DC Universe, Crisis on Infinite Earth was... DC made all of these comic books were clearly in another universe than these comic books. And these comic books that were in this universe had a lot of issues with the storyline, as in they contradicted each other. So what they did was they had some big bad guy come and say, just destroy this universe, that universe, those are just gone. Dead. Gone. And they were pulling heroes from these universes here and there. Like, that's a big storyline. pulling some heroes to put them in other universes to fight to save those universes. And you could say Green Arrow was this universe, Green Arrow, the Flash, Supergirl were in this universe, the TV series, and then maybe the Super Friends were in this universe. That is the only way DC can top that. But they gotta bring up their game, man. I'm saying Justice League was nothing. They had Steppenwolf in Justice League. That was nothing at all. Justice League was basically just a crossover of a few titles, a few of the top ones, but nothing compared to Infinity War. But yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earth is the only way that they are going to be able to top Infinity War, and I don't think they got the juice. I don't think they got what it takes. I think that DC is more into being dark than it is about bringing all of these people together. Man, even Superman's dark in the DC universe. Superman's not supposed to be dark. In my eyes, Superman is the, like, let's say 1975 to 1990 Superman, truth, justice, in the American way. Superman was like Captain America is. There's something intrinsically good about Captain America, and even if you're not an American, you have to respect the guy. You gotta love the guy. I find the Captain America in the movie is a lot like the one in the comic book. The one in the comic book, at one point, totally dropped his shield. He's like, no, I can't be any part of this, because the way that America is right now isn't like the way that it was, and he had a big issue with it. Anyways, it went all through that, and they came back. They're doing all kinds of crazy things with him right now. But Captain America represents something. He represents an ideal. And Superman used to represent something. Superman used to be an ideal. But he's not anymore. He's full of angst, and his life is so hard, and he's so hard done by. And like, just leave that for the Bat. Leave it for Batman. There's plenty of dark places you can go to. Yeah, whatever. Come on. It can't all be dark all the time. It can't. And DC's always like, the bad guy is ultimately a bad guy. He is not redeemable. He is a bad person. And I just love that. Like, if you go back in old comics, Lex Luthor stealing a bunch of Baker's pies. Like, come on. That's funny. The Millionaire stealing pies. In the Marvel Universe, all of the bad guys are redeemable. They have a good quality to them. They're, in their eyes, they are the good person, which I guess is a lot like life. If you go to any bad guy, if you go to them and find out why they're being bad, they'll give you a good reason, or they'll think they'll give you a good reason. Like those terrorists. The terrorists are like, Muslim terrorists are like, we are teaching love. We are teaching love, because if everyone was like us, there would be absolute peace and absolute love. So yeah, in their eyes, they think they're the good guys, and that seems to be the Marvel thing. That although I think it'd be pretty difficult to call one of those guys. I might be stretching it there. I'll admit that. I might be stretching it, but in their eyes, they are the heroes. They are the good guys. But yeah, DC Universe, the bad guys are bad guys. Marvel Universe, they're always redeemable. I guess that could be a good thing. But the movie was just phenomenal. I could have not asked for a better movie. Usually when it comes to superhero movies, there's always a cop-out. There's always a cop-out. Instead of having action, they would have dialogue. That definitely didn't happen here. It was all really good. So many cop-outs when it comes to superhero movies. You just need more action. And that's all I got. That's all I got. Action from the beginning to the end. Let's see. Let's see what happens with the Marvel Universe now. Let's see what happens with it after the Infinity War. Are they going to end it? Are they going to keep it going? They could, they could always release new characters and all that stuff. Man, it's really hard to review a movie without giving spoilers. But definitely a great movie. I will be purchasing it, getting the digital copy. I just can't. They got so many characters in this. They did so much. It was like as soon as the action was finished over here, bam, right over there. I don't even think the comic was. I don't think the Infinity Gauntlet comic was that coherent, was that easy to understand. Usually crossovers are just impossible to understand once you get into it. But definitely recommend seeing it. If you've enjoyed any of the comic book movies, then you'll be good. Then you'll be. You don't have to understand everybody's storyline. You just kind of. It'd be good to understand the powers that people have. But that's about it. That's about it. Anyways, yeah, good stuff. Definitely check it out, folks. Catch you later.